Hi, I'm Ricky Knight from Insurance Sales Pro, and thank you for visiting my webpage and sharing with me this short video all about the forthcoming uncomfortable changes that are happening within our industry and the three biggest mistakes that IFAs are making right now. This video is specifically for IFAs that offer advice in relation to pension, savings, investments and insurance, and are slightly uncomfortable with the changes that are happening in the industry right now regarding the retail distribution review. This video certainly isn't for those IFA practices that have already adopted a fee charging structure and are almost rubbing their hands at the prospect of being able to pick up all of these extra clients as so many hard-working IFAs leave the industry. Mostly the one and two man bands leave the industry. So this video is, as I say, specifically for those IFAs that would like to keep servicing the mass market, because let's face it, they're the ones that seem to be losing out as a result of these changes. Financial advice all of a sudden is going to be reserved for the privileged, those that can afford to pay for it. Unless you've got £50,000 to invest, then unfortunately it appears financial advisors, IFAs, are not really going to be interested in talking to you. And I've been in the industry over 15 years, and I know financial advisors, IFAs, that have been in it much longer than I have, that have still got the same clients, literally, that they've had for 20, 30, 40 years. And they're going to have to let them go just because of these forthcoming changes. They don't want or they can't afford to pay for financial advice in the same way. They're happy with the commission structure. Now, depending on what report you read, anything from 10 to 40% of IFAs are going to be leaving the industry as a result of all of this. And that's a combination of reasons. There's a combination of trying to find an extra, 300 to 400 hours of study time to, at the very least, get diploma level qualifications. But then also beyond that, how they're going to be able to introduce this new fee paying structure to a client bank that they've serviced for years. The reality is that the mass market just cannot afford this. So IFAs that do stay in the industry, they're going to have to, a fair representation is probably 80%. They're going to have to cull their client bank by about 80% because they can't afford to keep them on. Now that in turn is going to just disenfranchise the majority of the population. Now people are going to be left trying to figure this out for themselves. Going online trying to sort it out. Going to the bank and not getting independent advice. Is that really the right advice for these clients? So the three big mistakes that IFAs are making right now. Well, the first mistake is that they're just doing nothing. Classic head in the sand and just firefighting each day and week as it comes along, and we'll worry about it next year. The second is that they're at the other end of the scale and they're taking drastic action and just completely leaving the industry. Just walking away from it. And either taking early retirement if they can afford to, or looking at selling the client bank on, or just having a complete change of career. Which again is a real shame. And the third is that those that are staying are already taking the necessary steps to start culling their client bank. Cutting back, letting go those that don't make them any money anymore. Or aren't going to make them any money come the end of next year. Personally, I feel that all three of these actions or inactions are mistakes. And I'd like to share with you another solution which just completely turns your business on its head, utilises the skills that you've already got, allows you to continue to service the mass market, and at the same time get your income back up to where you want it to be. This is a model that I've actually been using myself now for the last 2.5 years in my own business. It's a model that is proven, it's tested, and it works. Now, there are 4 parts to this model that I'd like to share with you on the board behind me. And I'd like you to imagine, if you will, just a traditional sales funnel. And what we're going to focus on is what area of financial planning do you want to be feeding the top of this sales funnel with? Now let's think about it. Mortgages? Absolutely no way. Not in the current climate. Pensions, savings, investments? Again, no, given the problems that we've just talked about. What I'm suggesting is that you actually focus on life insurance, critical illness insurance, income protection. That's what you focus on. Not necessarily, not just with your existing clients. I'm talking about increasing your client bank right now. And I'm talking about, in just a second, using the power of leverage to get other people then doing the work that you're either not qualified or you don't want to do. So let's assume just for a second that you don't have any problem at all in tapping into lots of quality clients that are genuinely wanting to take out some type of life insurance for their family. Remember, you don't need extra qualifications to be able to focus on protection. So this is something that you've already got in your locker. You already know how to sell this. You already know how to position it with people. So let's assume that you've got plenty of those clients coming into the top of the funnel, and you're offering them fantastic service, great value. There are then, under the umbrella of financial services, there are all of these other affiliated services that you can offer. Mortgages, savings, pensions, investments, wills, conveyancing, business protection. So there are all of these other services that you can offer, and now you can choose whether you just specialise in insurance or whether you look at insurance and wills or insurance and mortgages. I'd suggest that you don't pick off any more than 2 or 3 that you are known as a specialist in. And then what you do is you use the power of leverage to get other people doing the other stuff that you don't want to. Because as long as you're offering quality advice, you're positioning yourself as an expert, and you're making it clear to your clients that within the structure, within the framework that you work under, you've got access to all of these other services. They will start to trust you if they don't already. And when you then sort of go on a campaign trying to introduce these other services, then they are going to trust you. Now, you can position it in a way very much like a GP does when someone's got something wrong with them and they need surgery. You wouldn't for a minute expect your GP to carry out that surgery on you. And this is exactly the same when talking about things like investments, pensions and stuff like that. Now, because of your experience, you're going to be able to talk generically to these clients about that stuff, and then you can say, if they tick the right boxes, they can then be passed over to someone else as a quality lead. And then it's just about the agreement that you have with that other person as to how much money you then get off the back of it. But for passing over a lead, you're then getting other people to earn you money. And as you go down this funnel, there are less and less of your clients that will want to take all of these services, but it's all about offering quality lifetime value to each of these clients and not just focusing on the insurance at the top here. Now, if you're doing all of that, it's going to lead to quality referrals. And you may well get the referrals at the very top here. It might take a little bit of time to get the referrals. That all depends on how you're asking for referrals, how you position it from the outset. But it will lead to quality referrals if you're in regular contact, offering excellent value to all of these people. And the thing to remember, what you're trying to achieve here is maximum LVC, maximum lifetime value of each and every client. Because by positioning it in such a way where you are becoming a specialist in this area, outsourcing all of these other services, you're maximising the lifetime value of each and every client. And when I've worked this out in my business, the average case size for an insurance client is about £800. So you've got that £800, and so many in this industry, what they do is they only focus on that, and then they don't contact the client again. Or with mortgages, they only contact them when it's due for a remortgage, 2 years later, 3 years later, whatever it might be. But by being much more focused, channeled, running specific campaigns for each of these other service areas, you can make an absolute fortune and almost creating a one-stop shop. You maintain the contact, you never lose the client. And that, for me in my business, with many of my clients, when you work out what each client has earned me, not from the initial commission, but for future products that they've then taken through me, plus other services and products that they've then taken through other specialists, plus the value of the referrals and the clients that they've then passed on to me, is £5,000 plus. The key to making this sales funnel work effectively is having enough quality insurance clients to feed through the top. And one of the main challenges that certainly I've always faced with this industry is prospecting. And when I sat down and I looked at this industry 2.5, 3 years ago, and I analysed it, and I asked myself the question, how could I cut the time that is spent on prospecting, how could I cut that out? And there is a way. It's called zero-based prospecting. That's a term that I've given it. And I'm going to share with you how zero-based prospecting works in the next video that I'll send out to you in the next few days. But zero-based prospecting eradicates any time that's involved with regards to getting quality insurance clients on board. It's easy, it works, it's effective, and most importantly, it allows the rest of this model then to work. Once I introduced this model into my business, me personally, within 6 weeks I was banking over £10,000 a month. That's money banked, over £10,000 a month, within 6 weeks. Within the first full year of my new business trading, started trading February 2009, within the first full year of it trading, we banked over £300,000. And there's absolutely no reason why you can't do exactly the same. Anyway, I hope you found that helpful and useful. And as I said, in a few days what I'll do is I will email across to you the video regarding zero-based prospecting and how that works exactly. So, until the next video, take care and goodbye.